Yes, we are in Moscow. Yes, we've made it. We have been more stubborn than bureaucracy. We've wrestled with the system. We outsmarted the paperwork. I've got a new visa. Silvana has got a new master cylinder. Together, we have added another 1,400 kilometers to the odometer. And here we are, in the city of golden domes and mad drivers. A city where excess is a virtue and chaos becomes a lifestyle.
What?
This time I was traveling alone. There was no camera operator near me to capture the unpredictable. While I was driving, I was using most of my hands to operate the steering wheel and the transmission lever. While I was not driving, I was using these same hands to show my documents to border guards and to police officers. You see why, for objective reasons, I have neglected the camera, and indirectly, I have neglected you. Nonetheless, I did occasionally find one extra hand to capture some moments with my smartphone, and I will share them with you. After the Polish border control, for a brief minute, we found ourselves suspended between two worlds. No longer in Poland, not yet in Belarus. We were advancing on a bridge over the river Bug. People call it no man's land, but that is nonsense. Every inch of it belongs to one of the two bordering countries. The Belarusian border control team performed their duties with surprising speed. Not because they had suddenly been seized by a fit of efficiency, but because there was not much to control. There were only 6 cars ahead of me. At their customary pace of 1 car per hour, I found myself through in 6 hours. I know, that may sound like a long time, but trust me, by Belarusian border standards, 6 hours is nothing short of a record. Curious to find out whether Silvana's beauty was only skin deep, the border guards have subjected her to an X-ray inspection. Amazed with the results, they have bestowed upon us the privilege of entering the Republic of Belarus. We were preparing to drive triumphantly beneath what resembled a poor man's Arc de Triomphe when I heard a horn and a voice.
Только не едьте туда! Вас там помоют, у вас нет крышу закрывать!
Upon entering Belarus, one must first be purified with a mysterious liquid. I always found the touch of impurity rather becoming, so I took the woman's advice and closed Silvana's roof. Welcome to Belarus. Soon I will lose data coverage as my provider doesn't offer roaming here, so I'll try to make the most of the less drops of connectivity to set the navigator for Smolensk. Then I will attempt to cross the country in blissful ignorance of modern conveniences. A paper map would be handy, assuming anyone still prints such things. Now, if I don't stop, I don't get lost, and I don't run out of fuel. I should reach Russia in about 8 hours. However, sooner or later I will have to refuel. And there you go. The time to refuel has come. If only I knew where to find a gas station. And I can search for one. If I exit navigation now, not only I won't find anything because I don't have internet, but I would lose the destination that I've already set. So, how do you find a gas station when you're in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night, and you have no data connection? You ask a stranger. That's how I met Misha. I spotted a car parked by the roadside and pulled over to ask for directions. Misha was standing out smoking a cigarette, while the rest of his family was waiting inside the car. I imagined a quick exchange. Misha points me to a gas station, I thank him, and we go our separate ways. What I had not anticipated was what would happen the moment Misha laid eyes on Silvana.
Нет, так чтобы альфа видна была. А я говорил, что так и будет здесь.
Тебя только подожди, стой. Ты такой большой?
Бля, это альфа.
А,
Блять. Это что-то нахуй.
I wasn't sure whether to laugh or to feel jealous. As you saw, things had gotten pretty intimate between Misha and Silvana.
In theory, my mission was saved. All I needed to do was fill the tank and continue the journey. Easier said than done. My credit cards were not accepted by Belarusian terminals, so even though the fuel was right in front of us, I was unable to pay for it.
For a moment, I thought that would be the end of our journey, right there beside the pumps. But do you really think that Misha would abandon us there? He changed his plans. And instead of going home, he took his family and escorted us to another gas station, a bigger one with a shop open 24/7 and real people behind the counter.
Here, my cards were also rejected, but the employees were willing to accept payment in a different currency. In my case, that meant 3 bars of cioccolato di Modica that I happened to have in my suitcase.
The kindness of the Belarusian people came as unexpectedly as it was overwhelming. Without their help, our trip to Russia would have ended at the pumps. They have proven to me that when politics and sanctions conspire to make traveling difficult, humanity finds a way to make it delightful. Thank you, Misha. Thank you, people of Belarus. You truly rock. Remember, we had no data connection, and my smartphone had only a vague idea of our position. Well, as we were getting closer to the border, the navigator led us into a labyrinth of forgotten roads. At some point, without realizing it, I did find myself in Russia, only illegally. I was driving. I crossed a tiny bridge over a tiny stream. Next thing I know, 2 Russian military officers pop out of nowhere and tell me that I was on Russian soil, but somehow without passing through passport control.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Where are you going?
Around the world.
Here we are on Russian soil.
That's great news. I was looking for Russia, so I'm glad I found it.
Do you have a visa?
Plenty of them. Some are even valid.
How did you arrive here?
You've heard her.
You shouldn't be here. On the other side of that bridge, you were still in Belarus. On this side, you are in Russia.
Precisely where I hoped I would be.
But you didn't go through passport control.
You're funny. There was no passport control. However, here's my passport. Control it.
We can't. The border is not for tourists. Either you go back to Belarus or we arrest you.
Sounds fun. Let me start my camera first. Needless to say, our brave guards did not embrace the idea of me starting my camera wholeheartedly. Instead,
they have kindly explained to me how to find a way to a bigger border checkpoint, which had the necessary equipment to control passports. There I was greeted by a chorus of officers who had clearly been forewarned of my arrival. To their minds, I was either mad enough to be studied or cunning enough to be feared. In both cases, an entertainment worth examining. Naturally, a new interrogation followed. I recounted my tale once more, though this time with less sparkle than last month. Repetition may be the mother of learning, but it is the death of enthusiasm. A meticulous officer entered my story into their ever-growing database, which by now must contain an exhaustive file on my life. With a sense of accomplished duty, he has invited me and Silvana to cross the imaginary line between Belarus and Russia.
And we are on Russian soil. Again. This time my passport has been controlled. My smartphone too. There are 75 kilometers left until Smolensk and 500 until Moscow. Silvana, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, I thought so. It is 4 a.m. Any reasonable man would be asleep at this hour. But what do you want? Reason and I have never been properly introduced.
That's how, after 30 sleepless hours behind the wheel, we have finally arrived in Moscow. During these hours, my body has shifted gradually from manual driving mode to autopilot mode to crash test dummy mode. Now, as Moscow wakes up, I shall switch to sleep mode, like any respectable lunatic who has just crossed half a continent. Not before I offer a toast, though. To roads that lead us where we never planned to go. To strangers who become friends. To the stubborn joy of moving forward. To borders that exist mainly to be misunderstood. And above all, more than ever, to peace.